We're going to take one final look at Super Bowl XLVII in this week's Game Time Decision, joined by senior editor Eric Edholm. And Eric, a couple questions looming from the game, and the big one is Jimmy Smith. Should he have been called for holding on the last play against the 49ers?
No way, man. No, I've seen that play a few times now, and I looked at it, and I felt that Michael Crabtree gained as much of an advantage as Smith did. Was there contact? Was it about a yard or two past the no-chuck zone? Yeah, I think it's absolutely the case. I think there was contact down the field. But in that situation, you know, the refs are looking for one guy gaining a significant advantage. I didn't see it there. I think they played it exactly the way they should have. The only other thing would have been offsetting penalties, and they replay fourth down.
You know, and I'm not the type of person who says, oh, it's the fourth quarter, keep your flag in your pocket. I don't care if it's the fourth quarter or first quarter. A penalty is a penalty, but I do agree with you. Contact on both sides. It was a physical game both ways. The 49ers should be angry. It's probably they should be that Kerry Williams was allowed to stay in the game.
Good call.
After shoving a referee. Which, you know, seemed to kind of get ignored throughout the rest of that game. But, you know, 49ers, they came so close to winning. Let's say, hypothetically, they did come back, win that game, scored on that fourth down play. Who would have been the MVP, you think?
If they'd have given Frank Gore the ball inside the red zone, maybe he would have been the guy. He had an outstanding game. But Colin Kaepernick, I think, did the most. I mean, he overcame a couple early throws, won the interception to Ed Reed, and also the near pick six on the close side of the field. So there were a couple errant throws. There's no doubt about it. But for me, Gore was kind of the difference. They were clearly worried about Kaepernick. Weren't going to let him free. He still managed to get around the end and get that touchdown. So both guys, I think, would have been in the running had they played things just a little bit differently down the stretch.
And notice you didn't really say anybody on the defensive side of the ball. We talked in one of our videos. Alden Smith was kind of absent for most of that game. You know, there was the big play by Terrell Brown to get that Ray Rice fumble, but didn't really hear much from Patrick Willis. Navarro Bowman made a few key stops, but defense, not a great game for San Francisco's unit, which is considered one of the league's best. Now we go to the Baltimore Ravens, and Eric, we've seen this for not just the Super Bowl winners, but Super Bowl losers. It's so hard to get back there. The last back-to-back champion was the Patriots earlier in the 2000s. Do the Ravens have a chance to repeat next season?
They have a chance, but it's proven to be difficult. You know, and obviously, the Giants did not make the postseason this year. The Packers, after a great regular season the year before, you know, fell down in their first game. So there's always going to be roadblocks, and we saw this was a team that was, you know, flagging in December. It didn't look like a playoff team, so it's very hard to say. But with personnel changes looming on both sides of the ball, we know Lewis is gone. We don't know about Ed Reed. Matt Burke may decide to retire. Anquan Bolden's got some contract issues he's got to figure out with the club. All those factors, I'd have to say no. I would have to say they're not one of the top 5 teams to repeat to win the Super Bowl next year. Yeah, they'll have the target on their back, as you mentioned. Could be a very different looking defense next year. And Joe Flacco, he's not going to surprise anyone next season. Everyone's going to know that he is capable of putting up some big plays on the field, as he showed throughout the playoffs. For all the best coverage of Super Bowl XLVII, be sure to head to our website at ProFootballWeekly.com.